Okay, let's begin. So beyond meditation today, I'm guided to really work with a transmutation of the vibration of fear as fear is anchored by people across the world. Now, I know that there are many of you here who've done the journey to miracles, and you know that we have a very specific way in which we relate to fear, fear as a sergeant major that propels us into living the calling of our soul. This is not that we are addressing with. We are really addressing the conversations that are held about fear, that are programming the atmosphere that surrounds us. So, and there has been quite a lot of um, that got spread far and wide due to the corona times. And then as we started opening up and it felt like, okay, it's all subsiding, then there were rise in cases, and then off we've gone into lockdown. So now there is this uncertainty that people are present to, which is like, okay, even if it opens, can we really rely on this? Can we not rely on this? Some significant decisions are being made, at least at a business level, across the world because of this uncertainty. And we know, those of us who have been doing the 10 commandments, that uncertainty is what is certain. And what is to be decided is not on the basis of whether there will be a rise in cases or not, but it's going to be on the basis that uncertainty is certain. So in that context, fear, as it has been anchored as an emotion, does not really have any space or hold. However, it's there, and there is so much of it that is present, that it's time for us to bring about a transmutation of that, knowing that fear really is false expectations appearing real, and that taking a grip. So it is something that is only coming from the mind. If you come from your gut, then the gut already knows that any expectation is a false expectation anyway. What will occur will occur. So making an expectation that doesn't even exist, and having something that does not exist at all become real, and then us become fearful that what if it doesn't happen, is what causes that gripping effect, because we don't know how to release ourselves from that grip. So what I notice with people is when there is this vibe of fear that is present, what I notice is that it um, it destabilizes people. So even if they themselves have got an enlightened connection to fear, um, there are so many around them that are gripped by it, that it becomes one of these major life force energy suckers, if you like, and it depletes us of life force. And we land up having to work really, really hard to keep ourselves in our center. And it then takes us another effort to rise up again. So spreading waves of fear is really um, the viral infection that damages our immune system to the very core. You've heard me say this when we were talking about navigating the unknown, that fear is, in its negative vibe, especially where it gets into a grip, is one of the biggest depleters of immunity. And that's what starts to happen. And then, of course, once your immunity is depleted, then you can get attacked by all kinds of pathogens. But fear is such an immunity buster that it exposes you in a full spectrum way. So you become vulnerable in terms of your physical well-being, mental, emotional, spiritual, social, and environmental, all the way across. It's that kind of a pathogen. So I don't know how, I have not yet been given fear. I would love to do fear as a pearl of wisdom, but I'm not yet been given instruction to do fear as a pearl of wisdom yet. However, we are going to work with it in beyond meditation and go on these meditative journeys and I don't know how long we will be doing that. We'll see. But as we've come out of the slipstream, remember, as the slipstreams are occurring, we've just ended one. We're preparing ourselves for the next one that's coming up in May. As we come out of the slipstream, there is an evolution that takes place within us, whether we realize it or we don't realize it. There'll be certain aspects of you, certain behaviors you will realize or recognize further down that, oh gosh, I don't do that thing anymore. Those sort of things will happen for you, but it is also something which enables the divine to progress its plan for the upliftment of the whole planet. So one of the pieces that came out of the slipstream was, okay, we've got to go work with fear. Fear as as something that has been anchored, which continues to deplete humanity of life force. The interesting thing when I look at fear, and I look at fear in the context of other living beings, I mean, it's so great that we have access to Netflix and all of those kind of films, so I've had a chance to engage with fear in terms of nature. So when a deer is being chased by a tiger, or it's something like that occurs, and when I've engaged with it, there is fear that is just there momentarily, and then it is literally just the focus is on action, on preservation, on self-preservation, knowing that this is what a lion does and this is what we do, and this is how we coexist. So it's there. It is not gripping in the way it has shown up for humans. It becomes gripping to such an extent that we apply our intellect to come up with all sorts of strategies and approaches. We make business decisions, career choices, relationship decisions, life choices, either avoiding fear or proving that we can survive despite fear. So all we're doing is keeping that vibe of fear anchored and in place. So let's begin this journey today, and we'll see how long, over how many days we are going to keep working with it. So let's begin. So get yourself comfortable. Again, for this purpose, best to be sitting on a chair if you can, with your feet on the ground. We haven't yet achieved an automatic anchoring to the level of depth that we are able to with the feet on the ground. For beyond meditation, it is important. For all other forms of meditation, you can sit cross-legged and it is totally fine. Okay, so there you are, sitting with your feet on the ground. The middle of your feet are connected to the core of the earth. The base of your spine is connected to the core of the earth. You're going to drop your hands on either side of you. Have your palms facing forward, fingers lightly stretched. Tips of your fingers are connected to the core of the earth. The connection to the core of the earth is with that cord that we have now created, made of an alloy which has precious metal gold, silver, copper, and bronze. It's a real emphasis on gold. So we're going to add a little extra gold today, because with fear, the nervous system gets very weakened. So we're just adding some extra gold today. and activating the divinity characteristics of bronze, such that as our nerves become stronger, our connection to the divine becomes deeper, and out emerges the divinity within each one of us. Unencumbered, unequivocal, received, seen by us, for ourselves, acknowledged, received, and accepted by others. And a beautiful exchange starts to occur where we do the same with others. Dignity, in fact, is the honoring of the divinity in you. You can lift your hands and put them over your thighs. Your palms are facing upwards. If you know about the mudras, you can use any of the mudras, or you can just leave your palms facing upwards. I just want you to feel the back of your palm, the middle of your palm, really connecting with the top of your thighs. Your bodies are already going into a release, which is quite beautiful. So just keep noticing that clearing of energies that no longer serve you is happening already. We're going to do a scan, but we're going to do a vertical scan this time. So if you imagine that your inner light has got a number of strands, number of very fine strands that are going from the ground up to the sky, and it's going below the ground as well, connecting all the way to the core of the earth. And that those beams of light, like vertical columns in very fine strands, illuminations, are circling around you. And then there are more, and then there are more, and then there are more. And it's like starting from your body all the way down to a perfect circle of light, which has got many, many layers that emanate from your physical body. You realize, you look up, and all you see is bright light. You look down, and all you see is bright light. It is the light of you. And this light is now penetrating your field horizontally. And as it's penetrating your field horizontally, it's literally cutting the cords of anything at all, any vibrations, any thoughts, anything at all that might keep you connected with the immune busting vibe of fear. What it's also doing is it is literally cutting the cords that connect you to any expectations. It could be expectations for humanity, expectations from your national leaders, expectations from your mother, your father, your siblings. Whatever they may be, it's just cutting through all of that, cutting through that. And it's happening with the light. Now, when it's cutting through, the moment when we use this kind of a light to cut through stuff that doesn't serve us anymore, the space that is created from the cut is immediately blasted with light. So anything that may constitute darkness in terms of vibrational frequency immediately is transmutated into a higher frequency of light. And this is your frequency. This is your light frequency. And what we have done here, we have literally brought so much of your light out in such a concentrated way that your light is infusing into you the highest frequency, vibrational frequency that you are going to hold in this lifetime. Some of you may be seeing different colors that are emerging in front of your eyes as you keep your eyes closed. I certainly have such an influx of purple. Some of you may not be seeing anything at all. Some of you may just be really, they might be experiencing a bit of a glare with all the light that is coming in through your cells. But this is a very powerful thing. Now, as this beam of your light, which is the light of your divinity, as it cuts through your vertical beams of light in a horizontal way, it does nothing to the vertical beams of light. They remain strong. It's only when it enters your physical space is where the cutting through of hooks, shackles, anchors that you may have consciously or unconsciously or inadvertently kept in place, that hold the very low frequency vibe of fear in place. Now allow this to continue to occur while you presence yourself to all that no longer serves you, that is being cut through, that is being disintegrated, that is being released from your body to be shed into the core of the earth. And while that occurs, your light starts to plug into the rhythm of your human form. And it does so in such a way that it actually is up-leveling your human form. One of the things that occurred in this slipstream is some people developed coughs, colds, some people developed chest congestions, nothing to do with COVID. And I've got to know many people who have, and their COVID tests were all negative. But it really was a huge detox that they were going through. There was a need for a warmth from the light of their divinity to actually be used. So it's like I'm just using the term divinity light as opposed to far infrared or ultraviolet. It's your light that is now literally being applied in the form of this beautiful light diffuser. It is literally going to different parts of your body, raising the vibrations of these different parts of your body. Because any ailment, any illness only exists where there is a vibrational frequency match. So we are raising the vibrational frequency at a cellular level of certain organs as required. It'll be working in different ways for different people. So as you're sitting there, you're noticing a beautiful clearing out that is taking place. May feel a bit of twitching, may feel a little bit of cramping. It'll go away. Just know that this light that we are working with, which is the light of your divinity, is really the healing light that is attuned to you. Okay, we are now working with this light. And we're going to go into a 9-4-6 breath. So we'll align the mind, the heart, and the gut. The gut is bringing forth all the knowingness that exists within you. And the knowingness of all is well and occurring in perfect timing. The knowingness that expectations don't exist. They are all, every expectation is a false expectation. We can easily just shed it. It's bringing forth that knowingness, knowing that when you take this human form, you are the cause in your matter. And it's just a matter of you embracing the human that you are, and you become the cause in your matter. And that is what because is. Because. When you just be as a human, you be the frequency of love. Your heart is relaxed, doing its thing, present in the now, unaffected by your mind or your gut. It just does what it's here to do. It is true to its nature. Your mind is easing off its desire to keep in control. We shall do the 9-4-6 breath, aligning the mind, the heart, and the gut. This journey of fear, the transmutation, it literally is the grand journey of transmutation, of fear. So let's breathe in. I just want to say it is a grand journey of transmutation of fear because it is something that has an impact on full spectrum living. It depletes the immunity, saps you of life force, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, socially, and environmentally. And all it is false expectations appearing real. So when you release the expectations, fear doesn't exist. So let's get the mind, the heart, and the gut connected. And we're going to go into a human vibe attunement straight after this. We will do the human vibe attunement in a particular way today, I'm told. So breathe in 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just focus your attention on your breath. And this time you go, take your breath in, breathe into your heart. And just as you breathe into your heart, the breath drops into your heart. And just like the heart pumps, with every pump, that breath is spreading through. And you now start to notice another creation of these light beams where they sparkle out. So you have the vertical columns, you have the horizontal ways in which they have already cut through entities that no longer serve you. And now, with the breath you're taking, it's a centered breath, mind, heart, and gut, perfectly aligned. Land into your heart, allow the heart to pump that light out. So, whatever release we have achieved today of expectations, we are filling that up with this light. So, there'll be a part of your field that will actually be filled up with such a high light frequency that there'll be a big chunk of things that might have caused you fear in its negative connotation would just have transmutated into the pure presence of divinity. That is you. You're just going to breathe in and out through the heart of just 2 or 3 more breaths. And then I'm going to ask you to repeat after me. We will presence the human vibe in you. Just for the fun of it, engage with how far your own light of divinity is beaming out. Follow one of the strands and go all the way to the edge. And as you're breathing in, come back into your heart. And you're breathing out, follow another strand, go all the way to the edge. Breathe in, come back to the heart. Breathe out, follow another strand of light and go all the way to the edge. You are nicely connected to the full extent of your personal presence. And now with this breath, take a really deep breath. And with this breath, you are consolidating that radiating beam of light that has anchored your presence and the extent of your presence. With your breath in, you're bringing it all into your physical body. Your physical body now has a concentration of gold, white, and orange light. Breathe in and you bring your beam that is spread out far and wide. You're bringing it into your physical body. And when you breathe out from your heart the vibration of gratitude and peace. Repeat after me. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I anchor the human within humanity. 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 I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. Breathe in 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe into your heart, love, kindness, and compassion. And breathe out gratitude and peace. As you're breathing in and out, all of those beams of light, the vertical columns, the beaming out, all of that is being anchored into your physical body. Your own presence has magnified, as will the recognition of your presence. Don't be surprised if people show up in a very different way, because you're beaming out so much light, which will either bring out the light in people, and momentarily it may be so glaring that you may not be noticed by some. And some may want to protect their own comfort space of darkness. So you may find they go into a deeper state of darkness. You have to make the choice whether it is yours to do to save anyone from the choices that they are making for themselves. What you have achieved today is here to stay. And it is now up to you to apply discernment to your choices and do so in a conscious way. Take your hands in front of your heart, rub them against each other. Put them over your eyes, open your eyes in them. Take them on top of your head, the back of your head, on either side of your neck, down your shoulders. Do an energy sweep. Please go ahead and share your completion words as we bring the Beyond meditation to a close. It was quite special to be able to have the divinity in us also acknowledge itself as a human. So we've added that divine frequency into us as well. Feeling so great, anchored in love, walking on air, gliding and floating, amazing lightness of being. Beautiful, radiant love. Thank you. Amazing, beautiful, and deep. Thank you so much. Release and anchored. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you all. Peaceful, empowering, love filled with joy. Sleepy, yes, Tokes. Just allow your body to receive. It's quite something that we have received. So deep and powerful. Namaste. Divinity anchored in love. Thank you. Hearts. Namaste, hearts. It was a deep one, so you may feel like just, releasing yourself or basking in the experience that you've just had. Thank you for the precious gift, Mynoo. My arms became wings, spreading wide, open as extension from my heart, electric with healing light energy. Beautiful. Don't know if it's just me. Your volume went down. Goodbye, I barely hear you. Okay, apologies for that. Feeling full of light and expansion into love and peace. Wonderful love. Thank you. Love centered. Volume was okay. Thank you, Justin, for clarifying. Life is good. Great. Thank you all. Thank you so much. I will see you in a couple of days. Thank you.